Welcome to Your Journey. I'm your host, Chuck Lewis, and we got a special guest with us today, and Tommy Woodson, a.k.a. the Sheriff. What's going on, man?
How you doing, my guy? My guy. Good, man. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, man. Obviously, right now, man, we in this COVID-19, the pandemic, trying to adjust. How have you and your family adjusted with this new normal?
Just trying to adjust as good as possible, just like everyone else. Wear your mask, please wear your mask. I'm at home, so like I'm not around or anybody right now, but I would just say everybody just wear your mask so we can just get through this and as quick as possible.
Nah, I definitely agree, man. I think just practicing like safety, doing the proper precautions, man, so we can try to get through this as quickly as possible. It's unprecedented because we've never been through nothing like this before. So we just trying right now to navigate through new territory. You know, we're just trying to adjust the day to day because there's new cases popping up every day. And so everybody's trying to stay safe, while at the same time trying to operate and work their jobs, and a lot of people working from home. So everybody's just trying to manage a new way of doing things. But let's get right into it, man. So Tommy Woodson, man, you grew up in the Pittsburgh area. Talk about what it was like growing up in Pittsburgh as a kid.
So like originally my family's really from the east side of Pittsburgh, just generally the Wilkinsburg, Homewood area. All my family, I still got family there to this day. As a kid, it was fun. I really didn't know what was going around me. I didn't know. I was just out there just trying to play football, just getting in sports, just doing what kids do. And so I just say it was all fun and games. Football was everything for me, my peers, my family. Football was everything, brought everybody together. And football just blocked out a lot of stuff. So whenever, as a kid, as growing up, all our games on Saturdays or Sundays. So I look forward to that every week, even the football practice, because it got me away from everything and I could just think about football. So I wasn't thinking about anything that was going around me until I didn't really know until I got older. I kind of figured, but as a kid, I was just playing. You're just out there playing as a kid. You're not really focusing or thinking about anything that was going around you. So that's pretty much.
No, that's good, man. So you talk about playing sports as a kid. Like, at what age did you actually start playing sports, and was football the only sport that you played?
Well, the first sport I played was football. I started when I was 4. So I was always like the youngest. My birthday's July 31st. So I would turn like the next age right before the season actually started. And the cutoff date was always August 1st. So my birthday was July 31st. I was the youngest person on the team every year. But, I didn't mind. It wasn't a problem for me. I still played. I always played. And hey, I was about 4 years old. So I was 4 turning 5 going into that year. And football was generally the only sport I really played. I played basketball in 6th grade, 6th to 9th grade, but that was just more like a hobby. Like, I could play basketball, but I didn't take it as serious as I did football. Like, I didn't care if we lost this game or not in basketball. But, I did care, but not as much as football. And I ran track in 8th grade just to try to get faster for high school. I don't know if that actually helped, but I was just trying to do something just to try to do it. And those are 3 sports I played baseball when I was younger for a year. I was 6 years old. I probably hit the ball once the whole season. And I'm like, this baseball is not for me. I can't play it no more. So I just stopped playing it.
Nah, I feel you on that, man. Baseball is a tough game, man, to get adjusted to. So if you don't start like at a young age, man, with hitting the ball and getting the fundamentals underway, it's tough. So you attended Gateway High School. Talk about your experience there as a student and as an athlete.
I would say Gateway got me ready for everything, honestly. College, the real world, just in general. My teachers, I wouldn't say all of them, but you got some teachers here and there. But there was like some teachers that, like, a lot of players got to realize, student athletes you got to have teachers on your side. Like, you got to have teachers that really care for you and willing, and they got to know you. And you just can't be out here in the hallways just clowning around and doing all of that. That was never me. I always went to school. I tried to stay far away from trouble. That was just not me. I was just worried about school and football. But I would say it definitely got me prepared for the real world. Football definitely got me ready for college. I would say high school football for me was more I would say it was more college than I would say than me actually being in college. So like when I went to Gateway, it was more structured. It was more it was just everything. People, it was just you were pretty much scared to do anything in high school. And like I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to mess anything up. I was just focused on just trying to just do my part and just do my part and just be ready when needed.
Yeah, so obviously, man, you did a good job of that. So as a sophomore, you earned the starting spot at quarterback. Talk about how you were able to gain success so early.
Uh well, me starting, it wasn't just given to me. My coach, Coach Terry, coach who's at Penn State right now, he brought me to his office and he told me straight up, like, nothing's given to you here. You have to work. And my whole thing is, I didn't want to play junior varsity. I didn't want to play Saturday mornings. I didn't at all. I played freshman football straight into varsity the next year. And my whole thing is, I just didn't want to, I didn't want to be in the back. I didn't want to be behind anybody. I just didn't want to. So I just put my best foot forward. I just worked with football and school. So I just kept working. So I just tried not to be in that back burner. Just try not to be one of those kids they point out and just assume this or that. I was just working, and they set me down. Was like, we're not giving this to you. Nobody stuff like, and at school in Gateway, he always tell you the best is going to play. I don't care if you're a freshman, junior, sophomore, senior, any class. There's no favoritism here. I don't care what class you're in, what grade you're in, any of that. And the best is going to play. So, and I was just working. I was just trying to get where I wanted to be.
So in your junior year, your athletic career was put on hold. You had a gunshot wound to the leg. Talk about that experience and how that affected you as a young man.
Man, all right. Before that, anything. No. That was the same year. So the whole summer. I didn't do anything because I couldn't, and I had to learn how to walk again. They were telling me to use my crutches. I didn't want to use my crutches at all. I lost my best friend in the process. When that happened in North Carolina, there was like a good 8 or 9 of us. A couple of my friends that were down there with us for that 7-on-7 team. Our whole team, everybody on that team played college football, majority Division I. Everybody that was down there in North Carolina when that happened. And I had just 2 or 3 people that was on that team that's in the NFL right now that was down there. What happened in North Carolina with me too. But I had to learn how to walk again. And the first time I actually ran was the first game we played. It was against Bishop McDevitt. So that year I didn't fully run until it just came out of me. It was the first game we played. We had like a kickoff classic at our school. Archbishop Wood played Pittsburgh Central Catholic the game before us, and we played Bishop McDevitt after it for the night game. And I was just the first time I ran. It was just crazy. But my whole thinking, I was just thinking about my friend, just thinking about what he would want me to do. I got a hoodie or a long sleeve on right now, but I have his face tattoo right here on my left arm. I just think about what he wanted me to because I didn't want to play football at all after that. I really didn't. I didn't want to play football at all. I was depressed. My head wasn't where I was supposed to be at. I didn't want to be around nobody. But I mean, I'm thankful for the great friends and peers and support system I had. They still forced being around me because they knew. I mean, they knew what was going on, but they didn't. And they know they couldn't really relate to where I was going to, but they just kept trying to help. And that was a good thing. I'm just thankful for that. Thankful for them. But yeah, that happened that year before my junior year. And then at the end of my junior year, I broke my shoulder the game before Heinz Field. And I played through it, actually. I played the rest of the game. I separated my AC joint and my shoulder blade flipped. And I played the rest of the game against North Allegheny. And we lost 21-17. But we were winning. We came back to take the lead 17-14. And 17-14 in the fourth quarter, and they scored at the end. But I came back and ended up playing that game the rest of the game. But I broke my shoulder at the end of that year too as well.
And so through that adversity, man, you were able to bounce back in your senior year. You set the school record with 2,395 yards passing. on 23 touchdowns. I think you only had 4 interceptions that year, if I'm not mistaken. You know,
Yeah.
how did it feel to set the school record and bounce back the way you did?
I want to say it was definitely good because everybody want to have records. They want to break this and that. But I mean, I wouldn't really say I was a stat guy. I was just trying to win. So like all of that didn't really matter to me because, and majority of those games, like our starters, we didn't really play like the full games. We probably played till halftime, if that, for half of a season. It was a good thing, but at the same time, it's kind of a bad thing because once playoff time came, a lot of people weren't ready for playing full 48 minutes. But yeah, it was pretty much good. It was good. But I mean, all those records are going now. But it's all good though. I was just actually with the kid actually broke all the records this past Friday. So.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, they're all going.
Who's that guy that broke the records now? Who's the new?
His name is Brady Walker. He was the first. He won our first Whipple championship since.
Oh wow.
88, 80. Yeah, and he got every record. He's been starting since half of his freshman year. His name is Brady Walker. He's at I want to say St. Vincent right now. Yeah, so he broke all them records. He shattered them all. I don't think nobody's gonna break them, to be honest.
Hey, well, you held it down for some years, man, before he came and took it. But like they say, you know, records are made to be broken, so it gave him something to strive for. But I think the one thing I want to spotlight on, like you set the bar high there. You know, there's been a couple of guys that come through the Gateway program and play quarterback and start early, but you set a standard there by being a dual threat. Most of the other guys were really just drop back passers, but you were a dual threat guy that can throw it, that can run it. And you can also get tough yards. You just weren't a guy that could go around people, but you could get those tough yards as well. So I think you kind of set a different trend there. So moving along into that year, actually was before your senior, if I'm not mistaken, you commit to the University of Arizona, and then you decommit and then commit to the University of Akron. What happened and what transpired for you to make the change, and what made you actually decide to go to the University of Akron instead of University of Arizona?
All right, Arizona, they kind of like – so Arizona was the first school to offer me a scholarship. Arizona, Bowling Green, and Arizona and Bowling Green were the two schools that offered me a scholarship. And Toledo was supposed to, but they never offered me a scholarship. If Toledo would have offered me, I was going there. Right. That's where I wanted to go. There was a lot of people from the Whipple that I grew up with, like personally, and that I know personally. Our families know each other. That I was going to Toledo, and I was already there, so I was trying to go there. And I was committed to Arizona because their coaching staff been recruiting me since 10th grade. So like before my 10th grade season, we won the Michigan 7-on-7. Rich Rodriguez's whole staff was at Michigan at the time. And Gateway, we went up to Michigan, and we won the whole 7-on-7. And they basically gave me something right there. So I kind of like committed on the spot. I'm like, I'm coming to Michigan. Like this is I'm coming here. Yeah. So they got fired from Michigan, and they went to Arizona, and then that was the first school to give me my real offer. Like, so I'm like, I'm going there. I'm like, why not? Like, it doesn't make like, why not? Right. So I was committed to Arizona. Well, I was kind of trying to wait it out, but Bowling Green wanted me to commit as soon as I got the scholarship. Like, they wanted me just to commit right now. Right. And I'm like, I just wanted to wait. I wanted to see like what I can get. And then Bowling Green, they just weren't they weren't hearing it. They weren't trying to listen. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. So I committed to Arizona because it was like my somewhat like only school I had at the time, like for like actual scholarship, and me playing quarterback. A lot of quarterbacks commit like faster than other positions. Right. So that was kind of one reason why too. But they all like I knew all the coaching staff. I knew Rich Rodriguez. I knew what's his name? He recruits Pittsburgh area. He's at West Virginia now. I forget his name. He's the D coordinator.
I can't remember his name either. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah. But he came to see me. I used to talk to him all the time. And then they randomly, like towards like the end of the year, just told my coach, like, yeah, like we're taking Woody's scholarship, like we're giving it to somebody else. So they told my coach that, like, and they never told me nothing. So I'm trying to get a hold of him. I'm trying to call him back. My coach is trying to call him back. There's no answer. There's nothing. Wow. So yeah. So as soon as that happened, I was in Virginia actually when it happened. I was for a Chesapeake Bowl game, and I was down there at the time, and they told me. And the news I knew, Well, my coach told me and everything. And then me and Tyler Boyd, that's one of my boys. He was with me. He's one of the people that was down there in North Carolina with me too when that happened with my leg. Yeah. So me and him was talking about, because he had Arizona in his top 5 schools. He could have went anywhere. The only reason he had Arizona in his top 5 schools because I was going there. And he was trying to go to the he's calling me like, yeah, when we trying to go to take your official visits and all that. And I told him like, well, like they pulled my scholarship. So probably the next day he took Arizona out of his top 5. And they were probably wondering why, but I mean I know why, and that's my boy. But and then Akron, after all of that, like closer to signing day, probably like a month before signing day, Akron shows up. At 2 coaches, they show up to my coach's school. They're just happy, and they just give me a scholarship. And it was either go to Akron or go to Slippery Rock. And I always wanted to play Division I football, so it was just a no-brainer for me. I'm like, I'm going to Akron. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how you broke all that down, because a lot of people ain't aware of like the recruiting process, man, and how much of a business it is. You know, like you're a guy, man, that you know, coming out of Gateway, you played around some great talent. You were a great talented guy. You got an opportunity to, you know, to go to the Pac-12 and, you know, and play that football as you thought you were going to. And then just like that, if they find somebody else, you know, it can get taken away from you, and then you're back to square one, starting your whole process over again like you did. And you chose to go to the University of Akron. So you're coming from the Pittsburgh area. Like you said, you grew up there your whole life, and now you transition to Akron. What was that first year like, transitioning from an athletic standpoint and an academic standpoint?
Well, I'll say academics, it wasn't that bad. The only thing is just you're just away from your family. But, I mean, that goes away. I mean, you're growing up as a person, as a man. So it's kind of – it's like it's good to be on your own somewhere for a while, but I'm not too far away from home. But academics it was pretty cool. I mean, you were there. I had a lot of people that really cared for us, that really knew, like, I really knew us as people, and then really look at us just as athletes, and just like we're regular people too. Like we do the same thing. So like you guys were definitely a help. So like it was cool. It was definitely a good transitioning coming from Gateway. That's a good school. I learned a lot from there. So it kind of helped me, prepared me to go to college. But football, it was just totally different. Man, it was totally different. It was totally different. I didn't really get looked at the same. I would say I didn't really get respected the same. Even though I'm not coming there like trying to say like I'm this guy, like I come from this person, this school, because there's a lot of people that came to Akron that came from good schools.
Right.
I'm just saying, just being respected as a person, like just who I am. But it was just it was different. It was just different.
Nah, and I think part of the reason why you remember that stuff, man, you use that as motivation. And I think you have always been a guy to like take adversity and use it as motivation, as I gotten to know you over the years. So things started to get better for you in your redshirt freshman year. You appeared in 8 games. You had 2 starts. What was the most important thing that you learned that year? You had some good things that happened that year, but you also had some adversity that struck a little bit during the season while you were playing. What did you learn that year?
Well, I played a lot of games that year because I was kind of the second string, third string that year, because our backup that we had to transfer from Colorado, Nick Hirschman, he got hurt. He messed up his knee. So like after he got hurt, it was like, all right, you're the second guy. So like you got to prepare like a starter. So like that was just my whole thing right then and there. It was just like, all right, like you're really one snap away. You're really one play away. So like when you get in there, like be ready. Like don't. So I was trying my best just to be ready like the whole time going in there. And my first start was against OU. We lost and we should have won. On the last drive, I threw an interception at the end, and that's how we lost the game. And then the next game, we played Ball State. I threw 4 interceptions in the first half, just off of like tipped balls. Like I never seen my balls get tipped and go straight in the air so many times. And then after Ball State, they called me in the office like, yeah, we're gonna go back with KP Cowpole, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. There's nothing I could do about it. Just be ready like when your time comes. And I just tried to. But a lot of those guys on the team used to like they like love, like they wanted me to play. Like all the other, like I didn't care about like anything else but getting my teammates respect. Like especially the older guys. I just wanted like Jay March, Jaja, Johnny Robinson, Chiz.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted the respect from the older guys, especially on defense. So like when they see me running and everything, they were kind of excited. They're like, "Oh, like you want to win," and they just like you're trying. I'm like, man, like what else am I supposed to do? Like I really want to win. Like, and they respected that, win or lose.
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted. That's all I just wanted respect from the older guys and my peers that I'm with every day, and just to show them that I care as much as y'all do. And even though I'm an underclassman and I got a whole bunch of years to come, I'm not looking at that as like, oh, I could get them next year. I wanted to win now. So like, and they respected me for that.
So at the end of camp, going into your sophomore year, going into the first game, you're actually ranked third on the depth chart. With all the time that you put into football, and you're going into that first game being third on the depth chart, where are you at mentally with things as it pertains to football and where you're at Akron?
Oh, I'm not there. I was trying to transfer. I was definitely going to transfer. I was about to go to James Madison. I was about to transfer. And I didn't. But all the teammates, my peers were like Woody, like, don't leave. Like, please don't leave. Like, you're going to have to get your chance. You're going to have to, like, there's no way. Like, or, like, it was a whole bunch of stuff going that year. But before I want to say this, we had a transfer come in camp, like, summer, like, before, like, yeah, summer camp. Like, that's summer, like, summer workouts and all that. We had another quarterback come in. He was a grad transfer from Maryland. And so I was actually fourth. I was fourth string. There were some days I didn't practice at all, like, at all. And then, so, like, the guy that transferred in, he was probably there for, like, a month, and he left because he didn't like it. I'm not sure where he went. But he was a grad transfer from Maryland. He was there, and he left. So I was actually fourth on the depth chart. And then, yeah, I was just waiting for my chance. And I thought we played Oklahoma, Coach Amato and Coach who's our D-line coach? Coach Amato.
Coach Stroud.
Yep. Coach Stroud. They pulled me to the side, and because they heard me on the phone, like, talking to my family, and I'm crying, and it's just more like I'm just upset, and I don't know what to do. And then they actually, like, they heard my conversation. Like, I'm secluded, I'm by myself, like, outside of the bus. And they both pulled me up to the side, like, son, like, you're going to get a shot. Like, there's no chance. Like, just keep your head up and keep working. Like, they told me, like, I understand, like, I know, like, and I'm like, and there were another group of people that told me that made me stay too as well. So, like, yeah, so I was just waiting for my chance from then.
Well, that chance ends up coming along for you in the next few games. So the Zips are down by a field goal against Savannah State. In the second quarter, you check into the game. And before you know it, by the end of the game, we score 45 unanswered points. We win the game 52-9. You know, what was your mentality checking into the game? Obviously, you had a lot going on prior to that game, and then your number was called. You were prepared. But what's your mentality when your number is called to go into the game? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And what are you trying to do as you check in?
Just trying to win the game and just show them, like, show them why, like, I should be playing. I was just trying to win the game. I wasn't trying to do more than what I'm supposed to do. I was just trying to come in and just do my job and just do it to my best of my ability. We're playing Savannah State at the time, and we're losing. You said 9-7. I want to say we're losing 9-7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I come in the game, and Savannah State, they're on like a 26-game losing streak at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're losing to them. And they're a D1 AA school.
Right.
So that was one thing. Like, I was just more angry more than anything. And then when I played at the time, a lot of my first year, but it kind of, like, died down, but not really. But, like, me playing the whole time I was Akron, I was just playing angry, just to prove them a point and not really playing for, like, myself. So, like,
right.
that was one thing too. But I came in 9-7. I was just trying to just do my job, just trying to get our guys a win. That's all I wanted to do. I was just trying to just get us a win and just try to come out there with a dub. Yeah,
and the success starts to carry over into the next week. You get your first start against Louisiana Lafayette. You score 3 touchdowns, 331 all-purpose yards, throwing and running. Talk about how you were able to come out and play at that high of a level.
Yeah, I was just angry. I was just playing angry out there. I wasn't really in the right state of mind. Honestly, if I'd have played more calm, I'll probably play better. I didn't play angry until I got to college. Like really, to be honest. So that was just fun. That was great. I was just happy just to play, and I was happy to help my guys win a game. Like seeing everybody else's faces, like. Because to be honest, when we were flying down there, like you see everybody's faces, everybody looking down, everybody know what to expect. And my whole thing is like, I don't care who we're playing. So like, look, we're out here. We could try to win, or you could just try to lose. So we're here now. And that was the hottest game I ever played in my life. I threw up like 3 times. It was like 80 degrees at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I never experienced nothing like that before. But it was fun. It was fun. I got my first MAC player of the week, that offensive MAC player of the week that week. It was just good. It was just good. I played with bruised ribs that game too as well. I think that was my longest college touchdown. I threw one to Jerome Lane. Yeah. And I took one to the ribs, that touchdown, and I couldn't breathe. Like, I really couldn't breathe.
Like 72 yards, right? 72-yard pass, I think?
Something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, but I threw one to Jerome, and on that touchdown, I took a hit for a big play, and we won. I didn't care after that. I'm gonna take care of everything else after we won. So like, I didn't care at that point. But it was fun. I was just happy for our team. Like honestly, I was just happy for like our team. Like because like I was just happy for our team. That's more than anything. I was just happy for the team.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it goes back to when you first got on campus and how people looked at the football program and had a negative thoughts every time they saw, the Akron apparel. But you check into the game against Savannah State, you do well, you win, come back the next week, win your first start, play well, win MAC Player of the Week, and win. And you continue the success for the rest of the year. You help Akron get their first winning record, I think, in almost like a decade, if I'm not mistaken. And you help lead the University of Akron to the first ever bowl game victory. How did it feel going through that whole season? And then how did it feel to win the school's first ever bowl game and make history?
When that happened, that was great. I didn't know. I would cry like a baby. Because everything I just went through, I just thought about it like the whole time, like everything, literally. I'm like, I started at 4th string, and now I'm the starting quarterback for the Akron Zips. Like a Division I program. Like this is Division I football. Like I'm the starting quarterback for a Division I program. Like this is what I dreamed of all the time, like my whole life. So I was just happy about that, and just to get our first win. I'm like, just everything I've been through, like all this year, like high school. But I wasn't really thinking about high school. I was just thinking about just that year in particular. I broke down and cried. I literally just cried. Like. There's still people make jokes about that. Like a lot of friends that was on that team. They think that's funny still to this day. But I mean, I had a lot going through my mind. I broke down and cried. And Trey Chapp was the one actually that brought me up and told me to get up. And a lot of people thought we were enemies just because we played the same position. And that's one of my best friends.
Yeah. Great guy, Trey Chapp.
Yeah. So and like. A lot was just going through my head. I was just happy. I'm looking around. Everybody's on the field. And it was just, I was happy for our seniors, most definitely, because they've been here the most to where a lot wasn't going on. So to leave out like that, I was just happy for the seniors. I was just so happy for the seniors. Even though I feel like we could have had a better year, but I always feel like that about everything. But I'm happy the seniors get to go out happy. Like, that's all I cared about. Like, that's all I cared about was just getting the seniors to go out with a dub and just be happy. So man.
Yeah, so the success continues going into your junior season. You come out the gates blazing in the season opener. You throw for 407 yards. You set the school record for a single game passing of 6 touchdowns in a game. What preparation did you put in that week to come out and have such a great game like that?
Oh, that year, I just knew, like, just going from spring ball. Because after we won the bowl game, I didn't know anything about JoJo. I didn't know anything. I didn't know nothing about JoJo Natson. I didn't know anything. So after and he transferred that year, we played in the bowl game, Idaho, and we happened to play his former team.
Right.
That was funny.
That is right.
But I didn't know anything until like that spring. We're going to spring ball. I just put on his highlight tape, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is who I got. This is somebody else. Like this is crazy. So like spring ball, it's like 7-on-7. So like we kind of knew like we kind of knew like we're gonna be ready. But going into that first week, it was just pitch and catch. Just try to do your job. Just don't do anything extra. Just do your job. I mean, just do your job. So I just try to do my job the best I can. Just try to spread the wealth around to all my guys. And we had a good unit. We had a good receiving core that year, probably one of the best in the country. And I felt like a lot would have happened that year if I didn't mess up my shoulder. But yeah, I was ready going to week 1. That year, I was just ready. And everything slowed down. Like that's when the game was just slow. Like for me, like just getting accustomed to everything, the speed of everything. Just like how high school is when you first play varsity, and that comes with time. Yeah. So after that first year, I got off my belt, and then going to the next year, everything just slowed down for me. Right. I pretty much knew everything, and I'm a football junkie. I watch football constantly, so like I was ready. I was definitely ready.
Yeah. So you talk about you injured your shoulder. How did that all come about? Like you talked about, you started off the season guns blazing, playing well. If I'm not mistaken, that year, I think after like the first few games, you had close to like 14 touchdowns. I think like in the first 4 games or whatnot, because you had a similar performance at Marshall, I think, where you threw for close to I think you threw 4 touchdowns and you ran a touchdown. So you had like 5 touchdowns even in that game. And then you get to a part of the season where you're starting to have shoulder problems. How did that all come about for you?
All right, so we played. So after we beat Marshall, after we beat Marshall, well, I think that was, after we were 30-point underdogs when we played Marshall, and we beat them. So after we played them, they're from the Sun Belt as well. They're black and yellow.
Appalachian State?
Yeah. I hurt my shoulder during that game. But I just played through it. My adrenaline and everything is going in, so you don't really know. But I played through it. I was scrambling. I ran. I remember when I did it too. And D lineman kind of like tackled me, pushed me from behind, and I like ran over the corner with my thumb on. And I got up, and my whole shoulder is like, it just feels weird. Like it just feels so weird. But I kind of played through it. And then I didn't really know until later that night, and I couldn't lift my arm up at all, like this. So I'm going in. So I go in the next day. So you got to check in every day after you play just to see if any injuries, to check in and everything. And I'm telling them I can't pick my arm up. Like I can't do nothing. So I go to the doctors and everything, or our team doctor and everything, and they're telling that our coaches and everything that it's pain tolerance. Like it just goes on him or it's pain. And I'm like, I can't pick my arm up. Like, right. Like if anybody that knows me, like, why would I want to sit out a football game?
Right.
So they're over there asking, like, guys I'm really, really close with on the team, like is Woody going to play this week? Is Woody – because I was out for like a span of like 3-4 weeks. Like, is Woody going to play this week? Like, is he really serious about his shoulder? Like, is he lying? Is he just doing it not to play, just to try to get us out? I'm like, if anybody knows me, like, I love the game of football. This is where I block everything out. This is where – well, that's where probably everybody who plays football, that's what they do. So my whole thinking is like y'all really don't believe that I'm hurt. So they didn't think I was hurt at all until the end of the year. I had to get surgery, and then where I wanted to get surgery during the year because I knew my shoulder was messed up. And then I ended up playing through it later that year. It didn't help because I played against Ball State, and I played real good. Like I played real good. We played Ball State that year, and I had like 3 touchdowns. I was MAC player of the week that week too. I came back, and it didn't help that I played real good. So the next week we played Toledo, and I can't pick my arm up. I'm like, it's just I don't know what it is. Like I've been telling them like my shoulder's messed up, and they just kept going on pain tolerance, and they used to try to make me feel bad. Like look at me like, and like, well, such and such is doing this for the team, and they wanted me to take a what's the shot for the shoulder?
Cortisone shot.
Cortisone shot. Yeah. I'm like, I play quarterback. Like I throw. Like it's not like I'm hitting. Like I just tackle. Like I could tackle somebody with my other shoulder. Like, I got to use this every time. And they kept trying to push that on me. Like, I'm not taking that. Like, there's something wrong really with my shoulder. Like, and ever since then, they didn't like me after that, after I told them I wasn't taking the cortisone shot. So it went back down to, like, I just wasn't playing no more. So when I was out, they didn't care about me again. Like, they didn't ask me how I was going, how's your rehab, nothing. I was just out there just trying to get myself ready, like, for the team and for the guys. Right. But coming from the coaches, well, I wouldn't say all of them, but the coaches that are really supposed to be, like, the closest one to me, it was like they didn't care. It was just like, all right, the doctor said it's pain tolerance. It's pain tolerance. So you're not playing because such and such and this and that. I'm like, that's not the case. And then once they go and ask him, my, like, real close friends on the team, like, is Woody actually hurt? Like, asking them, like, is he actually hurt? Like, and doing stuff like that. I'm like, that's unheard of. Like, I never heard of that happening before. But that's how all of that happened. And then I played against Toledo, and Coach Kendall knew. Coach Kendall is the head coach at Toledo right now. And me and him are close, like, real close, because he recruited me in high school. He recruited the Pittsburgh area. And then when I was in high school, he was a receivers coach. But he knows all my friends. He's the one that got all my friends at Toledo and everything. So at the end of the game, he's like, get healthy, son. I'm like, whoa. Like, how do you know that? Like, I'm like, what? He said, I seen you throw that pass millions of times in high school. I said, get healthy. I'm like, man. So, like, he knew. Like, and our coach was sitting right there. I don't want to say no names or who he was, but, yeah, he was sitting right there. Like, he was right next to him as Coach Kendall said that to me. And I'm like, and he's Toledo's head coach. He's not even seeing me every day in practice, like, or nothing like that.
Yeah, so, I think it was, like, very noticeable because, I mean, you're a guy, man, when you throw the ball, it comes out like a laser, you know, and so you started to see where you started having shoulder issues, like you didn't have that pop in your arm anymore.
Yeah.
And to go a little bit more deeper into that, is this the same shoulder that you hurt in high school? Is it the same one?
Yeah. Okay. So, like, in high school, it was my AC joint and my shoulder blade in high school. Then when I got to college, when I hurt my shoulder, it was my labrum. So, yep, this is all in my throwing arm. This is all my throwing shoulder. And they're not taking that into account or no matter anything. So, like, and I'm telling them, like, this is not, like, I could re-aggravate something I did in high school. Like, I'm telling them, like, this is the same shoulder I hurt in high school. And it's my throwing arm at that. So, but they just weren't hearing it. And so after the year was over, and they're like, get the surgery now, we need you. So they wanted me to get the surgery as soon as the season was over so I could be ready when Cam comes up and for the next year. And my whole thing was I was trying to see a second opinion. I was trying to see the doctor that did my surgery in high school. I still talk to him to this day. I just talked to him when I just seen him at the Gateway game this past Friday. And he still asked me how I'm doing. He asked my family. Like, it's still like that's my guy, Dr. Fowler. But I wanted him to do it. And they were just telling me like nah, like he's not our team doctor. Like, no, like I'm like, all right, whatever. So they ended up doing my surgery, and it was just all about them, like everything. It was just all about them instead of just looking at a kid just away from his family, just trying to make a way for him in his life. Like, they didn't really care about that. It was just all about them. So.
And so your senior season comes up, man, and you help the Zips get to the MAC championship game. We end up losing the MAC championship game, but talk about what it was like to play in the MAC championship game. Again, we go back to when you first arrived on campus and where the Zips were. You know, we hadn't had winning seasons and things of that nature, but Thomas Woodson checks into the game, and then we start to take Akron to the next level. And finally, by your senior year, we get to the MAC championship and another bowl appearance. But what was that experience like playing in Detroit and playing in the MAC championship game?
Oh, it's great. I watched NFL my whole life. I watched football anytime football's on, I watch it. I know that's Ford Field. Like, I know pretty much like all the stadiums in the NFL. Like, I watched football my whole life. So it's just like, that's just another place that I expected myself to be at. Like, just to see, like, if I'm here, I need to go see this. I have to go see this. So Ford Field was definitely a great experience. And just me being a football fan, it was just an honor, like, just to be there. Like any NFL stadium, like, I don't care where you are. Like, it's just like to play on that field where, like, pro athletes or just anybody, like, you got to be the best of the best to play here. Like, you got to be doing something to play here. So I was just happy, like, just to be there, like, just to actually be on Ford Field. So it was definitely was crazy. I was just happy to be there.
Yeah. And so as you finish up at the University of Akron, you really set some records and you're up in the history books. You finished number 2 all-time in passing yards, number 2 all-time in touchdowns behind Charlie Fry, the great Charlie Fry, that played at the University of Akron. How does it feel to go down as one of the all-time greats at the University of Akron?
Oh, it's great. It's definitely great. Because I felt like I put the work in to get that. So, like, to be honest, like, if you ask me, like, I felt like I should have been up there. Like, just what I did and just the work I put in. Like I don't go out there bragging or putting everything online or anything like that, but just me, like, talking to myself and just what I feel and how I prepare for the games and what I do myself personally. I felt like I should have been there. So it's definitely honored. Charlie Fry, definitely honored. Definitely, most definitely. He's a guy that went to NFL. That's where you wanted to be at. That's where you want to be as a kid. If you play football, that's the place where you want to be. So it's definitely an honor to be up there, like, my name with him. So, like, it's an honor. Like, it's definitely a blessing just to have your name be talked about up there with those guys. So, like, it's just an honor if you ask me.
What a lot of people don't really even realize about it, even with the numbers, is you never even played a full whole season. Like, every year that you were there, you either had like an injury or some setback. If you would have been able to play like in every single game, like you think about your sophomore year, you missed the first couple games, you know what I'm saying? And then in your junior year, you missed like maybe 4 games, or even there was a couple games you didn't play the whole game. Yeah. So if you play and for those 3 years in every game, and even like your freshman year, you didn't play in every game. You only started 2 games, but you played in 8 games. If you really played in all those games, you might have made a run for the number 1 spot. Yeah. And so when I look back on your career, man, and your journey at Akron, there were some down times, man, but you turned it around, man, and you had a lot of great times, and you got some memorable moments, and you did something at Akron that was never done by any quarterback or any really a lot of people that came through the program, to go to 2 bowl games in their 5-year run. We've only been to 3 bowl games at the University of Akron, but 2 of them came during your time playing quarterback, and so that's an honor in itself. But it even gets even better. You graduate with your bachelor's degree in sport management in 2018. How did it feel to achieve that goal?
Honestly, I would say this, like, just coming from, like, my family and everything, it was just, like, it wasn't about me at that time. Like, that's what I feel like. Yeah, it wasn't about me. Just to walk across that stage, it's like we all did it. Yeah. I'm the first person in my family to graduate college. Like, wow. In my household, I'm the first family, and I'm the first person on my dad's side of the family to graduate college. Yeah. I'm the second person on my mom's side to graduate college. My older cousin Tara, she graduated at Pitt. But so, like, it's not something you do, like, and my whole thing is just, like, I used to tell my parents, like, I understand why y'all moved us out to Monroeville to Gateway. Like, this, like, I know why. Like, it's just make the best of it. Try to do, like, we moved to the suburbs for a reason. Like, try to make the best of it. So, like, that was my whole thinking. Like I found out quick when I was a kid. Like, I understand why we're out here. So when I walk across that stage, it wasn't about me. It was about my family. My mom was crying. My dad was happy for me. It was just about my family. Like, honestly, because like, if I didn't do that, I felt like I would have let them down. Honestly, right. To be honest. So it was just all about them. I just tried to do a lot to pretty much make them proud, is to be happy for me. So I probably do everything to try to make my family proud more than I make myself happy. So it was just more about them than me.
Nah, and even for us that work with you and watch your whole career, you made us proud, man. Not just from the athletic accomplishments, but the academic accomplishments as well. And so we were proud of you to see you graduate, man, with your degree, man. And then you transition in to football, but another side of football. So you went from being a player to now getting into coaching. So you're currently the quarterback coach at Susquehanna University. How did that all come about for you?
So how I got there, they kind of contacted me. So, like, I'm out to open. They found my resume. They called me to see if I was interested. I'm like, definitely. Like Like, this is what I want to do. So I want to be there. So like last year we went at Susquehanna, we went 10-1. That's the best record in our school's history. In our first, and there's a couple of guys, not just me, but a couple of young guys that it was just our first year coaching. Our DB coach was his first year, and our receiver coach was his first year. And that was the best record we had at that school ever. Like, so hopefully, well, I would think so that team is going to be put in like the school's Hall of Fame, but who knows when. But I'm just happy for that. And yes, me getting there, I like working with the kids, like the players, because I just got out of college. I just played football, so I could tell them I could relate. We listen to the same music. We know the same things. Like, I could still like be myself somewhat, like, and without them having to feel some type of way and not be themselves. Like, so that's another thing. It was just that we went 10-1, our first school win. We had our largest win victory ever. Our last game of the year we won 88-25 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just trying to build on from that. So it was a great year. It was a great year. I met a lot of great people, and yeah, it was definitely a good first year. Definitely great experience too.
Nah, definitely. I think anytime, man, you can win 10 ball games in a year, that's a great year. And so hopefully, man, you have that continued success there and as you continue to progress in your career. But we're going to move into the last segment of the show. It's called the Top 5 segment of the show. So I got a certain number of categories, and you got to give me your top 5 in those categories. So starting off with the first question, you're a big fan of music. Give me your top 5 rappers of all time.
All time. All right. I'm not saying this is for everybody or just these. This is me.
Yeah.
All right. Lil Wayne.
All right.
These are the people that I listened to my whole life just growing up. Yeah. Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, of course, Drake. I wouldn't say, but this is a group though. This is one of my favorite groups. Like Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep, yeah.
And my fifth, Future.
yeah.
That's my guy. But I lived my whole life. Yeah.
Man, that's shocking, man, because you being a younger guy, man. I mean, the bulk of your top 5 is guys from my era. So you got like a little bit of an old soul. I didn't expect you to say Mobb Deep because, you know, a lot of the guys in your era, they know of Mobb Deep, but they might not have really listened to Mobb Deep and understand, you know, that Mobb Deep is one of the best, you know, duo groups to come along. You know, them and the Locks are like one of the top groups to come about. So that's a good 5. So you're a quarterback. You coach quarterbacks. Give me your top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
All time. All right. Brady, I don't like Tom Brady, but you got to respect it.
Yeah.
You got to respect what he does. Me being a Steelers fan, he made a lot of people mad here. But as I got older, you got to respect it. Yeah. Like, I don't like him. I'm happy he's in the NFC, but he's great. This is just what he is. He wins. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So I say Tom Brady. I say Michael Vick, just because me being a black quarterback, like growing up my whole life, like basketball and football were the 2 main sports as I played. So in football, I wore 7 as a kid, and then I played quarterback. So it was Mike Vick, and then if you played basketball, it was Allen Iverson.
Right.
So that was the 2, and I had braids as a kid. So Tom Brady, Michael Vick, Aaron Rodgers. Who else? I can't say like Joe Montana and older guys because I didn't see them, even though I know what they did and just me by knowing football. But I didn't grow up seeing them. Like,
it's all good, man. It's your top 5, man. So it's all good, man. You got a good list. It's all good.
And I want to say, Peyton Manning for sure, and Patrick Mahomes is going to be there, but not yet, just because he's still going. He's still in the game. He still got to be up there with those guys. He's still fighting to get his name up there. So, but I feel like he could be up there as well.
No, that's a good group as well for quarterbacks, man. Those are all-time great guys that will be in the Hall of Fame for sure. So my next category is who are your top 5 NBA players of all time?
All right. 5. Okay. I think Michael Jordan is the best player of all time. If you ask me, I think Michael Jordan is. Everybody in my time around want to say LeBron, but to me, winning matters.
Yeah.
6-0 in the championship, like it doesn't get no better than that. And he hasn't played one Game 7 in the finals.
Right.
Home or away on Game 6, he's getting it done.
Right.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But Michael Jordan, Braun, Kobe, Shaq, because that's the best center I ever seen, hands down.
Great.
And my favorite player, Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
That's me. So
it's a good 5. That's
yeah.
Good. And so my last question of the top 5 segment is, what are the top 5 places you ever visited or vacationed?
Top 5, I would say, well, Los Angeles was beautiful. Got to see I was at the Overlook, so I seen pretty much the whole city. Los Angeles, DC, Chicago. I like when it's and I like I like, this is not really like vacation or anything, but when I was in high school, when we went to took visits to Notre Dame in Michigan, like just history everywhere. Yeah. Like you watch football like everywhere. Like when I went to Notre Dame, like I was like this. And a lot of people on my team didn't even know, like a lot of like people don't even know who Tim Brown is. And he's a receiver from the Heisman. Yeah. And he has a huge statue in it. Like I knew everybody in there. Like I knew everybody. And I'm in there like, oh my gosh, like I'm happy. Like this is like, cause just me watching football and just history that comes with it. Like this is beautiful. So like I would say South Bend and Ann Arbor, because there's just so much history there. Like it's just filled with history, like greats, like just it's beautiful. Like so I would say I love when I went to South Bend, in Ann Arbor.
Nah, man, that's good. Those are all great places and historical places, man, that you visited, man. So we at the end of the show, man. First and foremost, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And the purpose of the show is giving people an opportunity and a platform, man, to tell their story, from their lenses, their journey, to talk about the good, but to also talk about the bad. And a lot of times in our society, we focus so much on A-list celebrities, which we got love for them, but there's a lot of people out there every day impacting lives and making a difference. And their journey to get to where they are is unique. And that's one of the reasons why I chose you, man. And I think one of the things about your journey, and I would say the word for your journey, is perseverance, man. You persevered through a lot of adversity, all the way going back to high school, to being involved and getting shot and then watching your friend pass away, to all the things that you went through in high school as far as injuries and things of that nature. And then to get to college and kind of go through some of similar things as far as injury. But you overcame that and you made history, and you still going strong right now with what you're doing, impacting young men's lives through coaching, man. So your journey has been an amazing journey. I'm glad that you let me be a part of your journey and your story, man, as I got to know you over the years. And one of the biggest things that I try to do at the end of these shows is, man, to give you your crown now while you're alive, man. So we want to give you your crown now just to know, man, you did some good work, man, and you still got a lot to go. You haven't hit your prime yet. So I thank you for coming on the show, man. And your journey is amazing, and it's not over yet, man. The best is yet to come for you.
Thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say, because I probably told you before, but when you left and everything, but I want to say thank you for being you, man. Like really, like not like all jokes aside or everything, but like for real, like thank you, man. Because like a lot of people like can agree with me. You could probably ask like everybody at Akron, probably everybody. Be honest. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mr. Chuck Lou, man, you real genuine dude, man. Like you really care, like to be honest, because you know where we coming from, especially. And when we got there, like we clicked it because we're pretty much from the same place. Right. And you know how it is, like young black kid trying to make his way in this world,
trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So especially just me and you, Pittsburgh to Akron, like it was just something you just related. You like it was just. Well, I just want to say just thank you for being you, and I would say like not just me, but everybody, just how you, and just showing like for someone to see that actually cares, like someone away from home, like it helps a lot, like really, like it really does. Like, so I just want to say thank you, man. Like really, like thank you for being you, for real.
I appreciate that, man. I definitely took the job seriously when I was there because I knew, man, when you're young, sometimes you don't even understand, man, what you're about to get into. And I already experienced it. So my goal was to tell you the clues and the secrets of how to try to overcome it in your way, not to do it the exact way that I did it, but to do it in your way. And also to make sure you don't make the same mistakes that I did, man. So I appreciate you saying thank you, man. That means a lot. Well, thanks everyone just for tuning into your journey. Be safe and God bless.